Guys, welcome. Let me say this clean. When a hostile foreign regime puts the president of the United States on notice and says, this time we won't miss, man, that ain't talk. It's not a meme. That is internet bravado, state level signaling. And at the same time, that threat lands, we have KC-135 aerial refueling tanks start lifting in the Middle East, evacuating military bases in Qatar and so on. You are no longer watching politics. You're watching pre-conflict positioning. What are we talking about? Let's get the name straight. The man being threatened is Donald Trump. Check it out.
This social media post right now, sharing more details of this threat. This is from the New York Post, saying Iran issues a sickening assassination threat against Trump. Quote, this time it will not miss the target. And they also shared a photo of one of the assassination attempts against President Trump. All of this coming as protests continue to escalate in Iran.
Wow. So here's the image here. I'll put it up for you. State TV broadcasted a picture of Trump after he was shot with the words, this time it won't miss. Wow. Wow. Now, Donald Trump has already shown he will kill senior Iranian leadership if pushed. And the regime making the threat is Iran, a government that does not freelance. They don't joke and does not issue statements like that unless they want it seen, achieved, and interpreted. The other day, I talked about Iran a little bit, and people were like, well, Iran is nothing, this, that. Iran does tons of proxies. They have operatives, okay? They do these things. Is something that they're masters in. Everybody over there in that side of the world is. Terrorism and so on. They do these things. They use proxies. That's why this wasn't accidental, okay? Again, if we flash back, why does Iran hate Donald Trump so much? Back in January 2020, Trump authorizes the strike to kill this man right here, Qasem Soleimani. He ain't a foot soldier, not a random commander. Soleimani was the architect of Iran's proxy war network. You're talking Hezbollah, Iraqi militias, Syrian battlefield coordination, attacks that killed and wounded Americans. That strike shattered a long-standing rule that Iranian generals don't get touched. Trump touched him. Anyway, Iran has since then vowed revenge. They have. They aired it. They've been on broadcast and so on. They've never retracted. They just stopped talking about it publicly. It's not forgiveness, not patience. And probably what we saw was the Butler rally because none of that added up. We're talking about Butler, Pennsylvania, young man named Thomas Crooks. We were handed the usual script. Even though he's training in his bedroom like a Mossad operative. I did a whole expose on that. Go watch if you'd like to get more information. But they told us, man, lone wolf, mentally unstable guy, no real digital footprint online. Case closed, except it wasn't. The shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, raised immediate red flags, multiple cell phones. Donald Trump even spoke about this here. He said, Trump further claimed the FBI has been unable to open 3 potentially foreign-based apps used by 20-year-old Thomas Crooks. Okay, so he said it there, but he was also during his campaigning. Donald Trump, since becoming president, has obviously changed quite a bit. During his campaigning, he said a lot of things just off the cuff. He was on the Flagrant podcast where he talked about this.
Shooter had 3 or so cell phones. The FBI's never gotten them opened.
Wow. So, yeah, 3 or so cell phones hadn't had them opened. So encrypted form-based communication apps. We have obviously the training footage and a background that didn't match the profile. Okay. We were sold on some nonsense lone wolf shooter that didn't match at all. Even then, Donald Trump on the same podcast says he believes it was Iran.
And I was rough on Iran, and they supposedly have a hit on me. In fact, I think it takes great courage for you people to be interviewed.
So he says in there in the interview, because they push him, who do you think it is? Now, fast forward, Donald Trump says no idea when asked. No idea, which is strange, right? Like clockwork, the story disappeared. No sustained media pressure, no deep forensic transparency, and really no serious follow-ups. Nothing even happened. Was anybody even prosecuted for allowing this to happen at the Butler rally? No, nothing. Just another cover-up. This is where we go into nothing ever happens. Nothing ever happens. We get all wound up about something and nothing happens. This is not how you treat some random nobody. That is how you treat someone who knows nothing worth interrogating, because they were never meant to survive the story. They call that a disposable asset. Thomas Crooks was a disposable asset. He was sent on a mission, and tried to do the mission, incomplete, got taken out. And if you ask why disposable assets matter, it's because Iran does not operate like the movies. And they don't operate like the rest of the world. They use proxies, cutouts, criminal ideological throwaways. They have maximum deniability. If it works, silence. If it fails, they distance themselves, deny it, and move on. The part that matters the most, again, is that Trump later publicly stated from intelligence briefings that indicated that foreign leaked activity had already made moves that didn't work. That wasn't some speculation from Reddit. That was, during that time, a former president and now current president repeating what he was told inside of classified rooms. Now, why Iran said it out loud this time? Why would you broadcast the threat now? Because Trump isn't a candidate anymore. He's now the commander-in-chief. He controls the military, retaliation thresholds, intelligence authorities. Iran's message isn't just to Trump, it's to Washington, Israel, regional allies, and their own proxy networks. This is a signal for them they can go start operating. So all those guys that Biden let across the border that are inside now may start making moves. The translation is, hey, man, we remember and we still have reach. That's deterrence language. So you have to be aware that what's inside of our borders now, it could come to the town near you. Okay, not only Donald Trump, not only Washington, not only our troops stationed abroad. Talk about the quiet part, those KC-135s that are making moves. Stratotankers lifting out of regional bases. Tankers don't deploy for headlines, ladies and gentlemen. They don't. They don't move for political theater either. They support long-range strikes, aircraft, sustained air operations, and rapid escalation options. Does that mean we're guaranteed for war? No. Does that mean serious contingencies are being positioned? Absolutely. This is what every modern conflict looks like right before the public realizes it's happening. Lindsey Graham, even a few days ago, said, hey, we could be striking Iran real soon. So not only is this about Thomas Crooks or everything else, it's about our chosen ally that wants to bomb Iran. It's about the military-industrial complex and so on. But the fact is, you throw a direct threat at Donald Trump, it makes everything move a little bit faster. Now, here's where I'm not going to bullshit you. When a foreign regime threatens a sitting U.S. president, a response is not optional, whether you like it or not. It's just not it's not optional. A response is not symbolic. A response is often quiet, asymmetric, and fast. That can mean cyber operations, proxy suppression, intelligence actions, targeted regional pressure. It could mean direct absolute explosion, annihilation, too. It could. It could take out the very men that said it, that made those threats, are in control. It's possible. But a lot of times it's not fireworks and a press conferences as you would imagine. The loudest part already happened. Iran went public. They pretty much took ownership for Thomas Crooks. We all speculate. I've said it probably 100 times. I thought it was Iran because of Soleimani. And who knows, it could be like JFK style where the CIA and Secret Service just, hey, I look this way, you know. I don't think it was just one Iran totally. I think there was some help. They got some help. I think we're well aware of that. If you go watch my other briefings, you'll know that. But again, guys, this is why preparedness matters. Not panic, not doom scrolling, not fear mongering, but preparedness. A lot of people always get wrapped up because the thing is I think a lot of people are sheep. They don't understand what's happening around them, or they don't pay enough attention. I do realize that tremendously with politics. A lot of people say that, you know, that you may have switched teams because you're now questioning things. It's because they're not going deep enough to see. They're seeing surface level things. All surface level. We got the migrants getting round up. Good. No more DEI currently for the moment because it's only executive order, just like the pride year instead of month and so on. Those are only executive orders, so it's not really going to stick. But they're looking at the short term. Oh man, let's roll in some surveillance state for this immigration stuff. And meanwhile, it sticks to you, just like Patriot Act stuck to you after 9/11. You have to pay attention to these things. Just like the Epstein redactions are still happening. They were supposed to be released already. And Epstein was mid-level management at best. So the real network, the real operators are still there. The thing is, there's very dark people controlling this world. And once you realize that, you realize this isn't fear-mongering. It's truth-telling, right? This isn't about panic again. It's not about doom scrolling. It's about preparedness, because historically, assassination threats precede instability. Instability precedes market shock. Market shock precedes domestic stress. You don't need to predict the strike. You need to understand the pattern. That's all. The Butler rally wasn't the end of the story, just like Las Vegas wasn't the end of the story, and countless others. But Butler wasn't the end of the story. It was the first warning shot. And today, Iran just confirmed the grievance is still alive. And everything that we thought is probably the truth. You know, they call us conspiracy theorists. They call us a lot of things. But it's funny how every single time the things we say add up to be true. So guys, always stay sharp, skeptical, and don't let anyone ever tell you that this is nothing, because nothing doesn't move tankers. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, guys. Stay frosty, stay strapped, and always stay dangerous. I'll see you in the next one. Black Scout out.
2, 3. 4, 2.